One of the things they both told me, they were like, we've never met anybody who takes feedback as well as you do. And we've never seen anybody like make a change so quickly in their behavior and their attitude as fast as you do.
Welcome back to the My First Business podcast. This is a mini episode where I take some of the best parts of my interviews with phenomenal entrepreneurs and chop it up for you like a snack.
Let me summarize it in one word. The one thing I did realize is like ego, right?
Oh, yeah.
So when you are working for yourself, and also in a family business, when you work for yourself and you're able to be in a big business that I was almost like gifted with, whether it's my dad's business especially, there's no humility in that. You know, you go on the factory floor, everybody knows that madam's here, you know, and everybody's doing, it's like everybody's suited and, you know, like a little straight. Here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Again, no humility, but, and it was so amazing and so powerful. And I got that so young, you know, that it definitely got to my head, definitely got to my head. And I think exiting that business from my father and joining this new family business, it took a turn. Now I realize, okay, I have to work a bit differently. People here work differently. People, whether it's my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, everyone works differently, but it's the same thing. It started to become, well, I do so much, but where's my recognition? But then again, I had to like shove that down and be like, it's the ego talking again. It's the ego. Funnily, as you're saying this to me, one feedback that I did get from my coworker, even my recent job stint, I could say, and even in the founder told me when I asked, can I move into an advisory role or like doing contracting work? One of the things they both told me, they were like, we've never met anybody who takes feedback as well as you do. And we've never seen anybody like make a change so quickly in their behavior and their attitude as fast as you do. And for me, it's clicked. That 6 months away from my business and that experience made me so self-aware of everything I've learned being in business with myself and for my family. That play that you have with your ego every day. Yeah. When I couldn't believe that someone was finally telling me that like, wow, you have no ego.
Yeah.
And that's so amazing to go to work and have you say that, because I think that's everybody's goal, right? To like strip that away and to really be able to be self-aware. That's at least my goal. I want to be very self-aware.
Yeah. I'm glad you got that opportunity. It's almost like a sabbatical, but you were busy.
It was nice to have a paycheck.
It's almost like taking 6 months off, but getting paid. Yeah. And still having a mind that's fresh.
All of it went. Like I have nothing is in my savings. And I'm like, where did this money go?
I know.
And I'm like, why do I need this thing from IKEA? Like all this crap from IKEA.
You know what? I think Nassim Taleb said this. There's an author I read quite often, and he had a quote. He said, what are the two most addictive things in human history? He said, 1 is heroin, 2 is a monthly salary.
Yeah. I like that.
That's what we, like when we go to LinkedIn, and what you did was pretty much chasing that addiction too, right? That apart from validation, relevance, and everything, having that security to be able to drop money here and there, like, I'm going in next month, and I work for a big company, and they're gonna keep paying me, so or I'll get a promotion next year. But I do want to get into family businesses, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yep.
So Alina and I are technically a family business, but not the same level as yours. I've personally have really admired family businesses. So just context from my side, we had Ritesh on the show. So Ritesh Ramakrishnan from Transworld, Upasana's husband.
Yeah.
And he's, third generation into his business. And I love seeing that a business can survive a couple of generations. Like you must have built something super solid that is lasting even after you've passed. And not just after you, but like the generation after you is coming in and gung-ho, taking it to the next level. And a lot of people in growing up were kind of hateful towards these businesses because of nepotism, and I don't give a crap about that, because I think every generation earns their right to do business. And if they don't, they'll be ousted anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Everything is earned in every generational business too. But we've been paying with the idea of like having a family business in terms of like, will our kids want this and stuff like that. So but I do want to get more context from people that are running family businesses. Do I want that? I'll tell you the last thing before you answer is one of the reasons that really attracts us towards this business is that, or this family model is if you eat from the same plate, it's going to be fine. Like Alina and I, when we earn our profits and revenues, they go into our household, we eat from the same plate, so it's fine. The moment you start adding brother-in-law, brother lives with his wife in a separate house, the incomes get divided. Right? Like what should I be worried about if I am willing to work on a family business, and what am I missing out on if I don't, build a family business?
So I think it's a little context. My dad started the business. He always had his brother to help him, and his brother was always beside him. But my father always was kind of the driving force. People always knew that he was the boss. He kind of commanded that energy. I think when I talk to my dad about family business, he always says, I never found the right person to run it. It was always him. And sadly, I think that our family business is not going to go on another generation. The garment manufacturing, that business, over the 5 years that I spent there, we actually took this, we got very efficient. We almost bought a plot of land to bring all the factories together. And then India was going through this weird phase at that time. It's very hard to get labor, captive labor. Rules and regulations were changing. Taxation was changing. It got very difficult to run a business and live in India. So we ended up I ended up kind of leaving the business because it was difficult. I moved to Bombay with my husband because we got married and he lived there, and it was difficult to go back and forth. And I kind of just took a step back and said, I think I'm done. And more than that, I think my dad was like, I think you're done. And when I said, I think the only option now is to maybe close it, I think he was like, no, I'll run it. And first I was like, well, man, he never trusted me. That was the thing, it keeps playing in your mind, even when you know something, it's like, why can't I ever be seen in this business, or why can't I be taken seriously? And it was my own fault. I think that's the whole thing I'm talking about, the ego, the EQ. Those are things that are super important when you're working in a family business, and I did not master them in my own family business. I think I only mastered them after I got out of it. I had so much time to think and look back, so basically he ended up selling a large chunk of the business and becoming like a landlord. Basically his factories, he sold with people, the machines, and now he gets a rent, which is really nice. Actually, when you reach a certain point in your life, that's what you want, and he still has a factory in Tirupur, and our managing director there, his daughter joined him in that business, and they run it again like a family business. And I mean, they work so beautifully and so nicely together. And like once in a while when she tells me about it, I feel so happy, and I'm still learning things that I should have done better, things that we should have done differently. I think I needed to be a different person at that time to be in that family business. In my husband's family business, I see that too. I see that, there's so many different personalities, and like, my husband does his own thing now. He's not in the family business. And my sister-in-law is still in the family business. And she's got such a... she's more of what I should have been, which is a bit more malleable, which is a bit more flexible, which is a bit less strong-headed, less ego, and to be able to listen to everyone, still kind of chart your own way, but be able to listen. So when it comes to family business, I think it's important that you guys look at yourself, right? As a couple, as business owners, as executives. And if you're going to build something big, it's really important, I think, to give the person you bring in every experience in that business and really help them focus and drive them to choose one or two things that they're really good at.
All right, that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed that teaser. I think you will love the full episode. I'll leave the links in the description below, or you can head on over to my website. It's nparvez.com. Before you head off, I have just one more question to ask you. Why haven't you subscribed yet?